Hello, everyone. It is lovely to see you all. Well, I suppose, see, not exactly. Okay. Why am I so little? Hold on, give me a moment here. I feel so small. I forgot to make myself bigger. I was doing something earlier. Yes, here we go. Nice and big. Oh, I'm a little too big now. I feel it's just a little smaller. Is this better? Do you like it more? Was I too big before? Oh, I'm opening all these windows I don't mean to. I feel like I sound a bit different, but not on purpose. Hold on, let me shut my door. I accidentally left it open. I'm just an absolute mess today. I'm so sorry. Just causing problem after problem for you all. But, hello. Hello. It is good to be back. It was a little bit longer than it was supposed to be before we are coming back to stream for you all. But, regardless, I'm still having fun with it. I hope you are too. I'm gonna be real with you. That whole sentence had no rhyme or reason to it. It's been an off day for me. It's been a little off. I have been a little sleepy. But I'm here with you, and that is all the energy boost I could ever need. So yeah, wonderful. Very good. So. We're gonna be doing an old classic today. And by that I mean very old. It's an old classic in the sense where I haven't done this in about 2 months. And I feel like I really should do it more. It's a good time. It's a really good way to keep up with my reading. Yes. We're going to be reading. Wow. I immediately said what I was going to be doing. And well, it wasn't really a surprise. But regardless, I kind of ruined it. Don't you think? Oh, excuse me. But. Here we go. We're gonna just get into it, I suppose. Just gonna jump on in and have a good time. So, today, truthfully, I should have picked some stories to read. I did not. We're gonna fly. Actually, no, that's a lie. I did pick a couple. I was thinking the way we're going to separate it out. I want to read probably a few more well-known stories, and then we're going to gamble. We're going to take a little bit of a gamble, and we're going to read some lesser-known Brothers Grimm tales. If last time there's anything to go off of, this could be quite the risk. It really could, because last time we did this, oh boy. It went a certain way. It went a certain way. So. Let's get into it. At first, I want to let you stew on a bit. Which ones do you all think I'm gonna read today? That's the question I have. Do you think I'm gonna read? Hold on, give me a second. I'm gonna open the table of contents. That's what it's called. Are we gonna read perhaps? I can't think of anything. Snow White? Maybe not. Perhaps we're going to read Rapunzel. Did we read The Ungrateful Son last time? I feel like we did. Regardless. Or we're going to read Little Red Riding Hood? No, not at all. You know what we are going to read? Which one is it? Hold on, I have to find it. I know it's here somewhere. Hold on. Oh, it's literally like number 8. We're going to read Tom Thumb. Truthfully, I always liked this one as a child. I don't know why, but I found it to be quite entertaining. Just the whole, Tom Thumb being a little guy. I found it entertaining. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed myself. So, yes. Truthfully, though, I don't think I've ever actually read the story. I've only ever seen, adaptations of it. So, it's gonna be, this could be a learning experience for both of us. Yes, for all of us. So here we go. We're gonna do this. We're gonna read Tom Thumb. If I could find the page. 20. Oh, actually, maybe the Frog Prince. That sounds fun. Okay, we found it. We've got this. I can read. Can I read? Actually, no, I can't. It's a little dark in here. Hold on. There we go. Everything is falling apart. But it's time to read now. Yes. But the question is, should I do voices for it? Because that could be fun. It really could. Or it could be a bit... Well, I already sound silly. So... Yeah, I don't think me doing a voice for it is really going to make much of a difference. Do you? Probably not. So, we're just going to do it. We're going to go for it. Give me a moment here. I have to do something. I've got to do something here. Here we go. Alrighty. So. We're ready now. Take a drink of water. And we're going to read. I'm going to enthrall you all with some tales of ye olden times. Wait a second here. Oh no, I forgot. That's just how it is, isn't it? I forgot. Yes. Unfortunate. I forgot I made my background too tall. So it's like... Hold on. I'm also off-center. What? Hold on. I'm getting so distracted. All I want to do is read, but I'm like, oh, my model's off-center. Oh, this is off-center. Oh, no, I wasn't off-center. I was actually almost perfectly centered. Hold on. I've almost got it. There we go. That's good enough for government work, as they say. So, we are going to get on in. I know it's been like 5 minutes since I started the stream, but I'm easily distracted. It's a bad habit, but we're going to go for it. We're going to do this thing. So, him. There once was a poor countryman who used to sit in the chimney corner all evening and poke the fire, while his wife sat at a spinning wheel. And he used to say, "How dull it is without any children about us. Our house is so quiet, and other people's houses so noisy and merry." "Yes," answered his wife, and sighed. "If we could only have one, and that was ever so little, no bigger than my thumb, how happy I would be. It would indeed be having our heart's desire." Now it happened that after a while the woman had a child who was perfect in all his limbs, but no bigger than a thumb. Well, she got what she asked for, didn't she? I mean, if you say, oh, if only we had a child who was the size of my thumb, that'd be great, and then you get a child who is the size of your thumb, I feel as if you don't really get to complain about anything, truthfully. That's just my opinion, of course. But my opinion is objectively correct. So, regardless, continuing. He is just... okay, hold on. I just want to say I'm right. I called it immediately. Literally immediately. Him. Now it happened that... Wait, no, I already read that. Then the parents said, "He is just what we wish for, and we love him very much." And they named him according to his stature, Tom Thumb. And though they had gave... Wait, I had a little bit of a slip up there. I've got this. And though they gave him plenty of nourishment, he grew no bigger, but remained exactly the same size as when he was first born. And he had very good facilities, and was very quick and prudent, so that all that he did prospered. One day his father made ready to go into the forest to cut wood, and he said as if to himself, "Now I wish there was someone to bring the cart to me." "Oh, father," cried Tom Thumb, "if I can bring the cart, let me alone for that, and in proper time, too." Then the father laughed and said, "How will you manage that? You are much too little to hold the reins." "That has nothing to do with it, father. While my mother goes on with her spinning, I will sit in the horse's ear and tell him where to go." "Well," answered the father, we will try it for once. When it was time to set off, the mother... Wait. I lost my place. Oh, here it is. When it was time to set off, the mother went on spinning, after setting Tom Thumb in the horse's ear, and so he drove off, crying, "Gee up, gee woe." I like that. I like that. Gee up, gee woe. Is that an actual thing people say? I hope it is. I quite enjoy that. Gee up, gee woe. It's quite silly. I like it. I like it a lot, actually. Yep, you will. So, continuing. I'm getting easily distracted again. So the horse went on quite as if his master were driving him, and drew the wagon along the right side of the road. Now, it happened just as they turned the corner, and by the little fellow was calling out, "Gee up!" that two strange men passed by. "Look," said one of them, "how is this? There goes a wagon, and the driver's calling to the horse, and yet he is nowhere to be seen." "It is very strange," said the other. "We will follow the wagon and see where it belongs." And when the wagon went through the forest up to the place where the wood had been hewed, when Tom Thumb caught sight of his father, he cried out, "Look, father, here I am, and here I am with the wagon. Now take me down." The father held the horse with his left hand, and the right he lifted down his little son out of the horse's ear, and Tom Thumb sat down on a stump, quite happy and content. When the two strangers saw him, they were struck dumb with wonder. At last one of them, taking the other side, said, "Look here, the little chap would make a fortune if we were to show him to the town for money. Suppose we buy him." So they went up to the woodcutter and said, "Sell the little man to us. We will take care he shall come to no harm." "No," answered the father. "He is the apple of my eye, and not all the money in the world would I sell him." But Tom Thumb, when he heard what was going on, climbed up by his father's coat tails, and perching himself on his shoulder, he whispered in his ear, "Father, you might as well let me go. I will soon come back again." I like the cut of his jib. Not gonna lie, that's wonderful. He immediately chasing after that bag. We all just need to be a little bit more like Tom Thumb, it seems. I should just here we go. I'm gonna use my finger to hold my place. Smart, no? But yeah, they're like, "Yeah, sell us your son. We'll buy him from you." This is a reasonable request for them to make. You should totally sell your child to strangers in the woods. It's totally normal. Yes, totally. But at least the dad stood on business. He said, "No, what? No, I'm not selling you my son. Are you crazy?" I liked it. Good father. But Tom, wait, I already said that. Yes. Then the father gave him up to the two men for a large piece of money. I wonder how much it was. They asked him where he would like to sit. "Oh, put me on the brim of your hat," he said. "There I can walk about and view the country, and be in no danger of falling off." And they did as he wished. And when Tom Thumb had taken leave of his father, they set off all together, and they travelled out until it grew dusk. And the little fellow asked to be set down a little while for a change. And after some difficulty they consented. So the man took him down from his hat and set him in a field by the roadside. And he ran away directly, and after creeping about among the furrows, he slipped suddenly into a mouse hole. Just what he was looking for. Amazing. I did question the two men, though, because I don't know what they thought was going to happen. It seems pretty on the nose, don't you think? Yeah, trust me. You can trust. Look at his face. I'm trustable. Just put me down. Trustable. That's not a word. I'm very trustworthy. Just put me down. I promise I won't run away. And then boy bolted. That must feel. I'm not gonna lie. That probably would feel very defeating. But you live and learn. Some people are simply not the brightest at all. Not one bit, actually. But continuing on. Just what he was looking for. "Good evening, my masters. You can go home without me," cried he to them, laughing. They ran up and felt about with their sticks in the mouse hole, but in vain. Tom Thumb crept farther and farther in, and as it was growing dark, they had to make the best of their way home, full of vexation and with empty purses. When Tom Thumb found that they were gone, he crept out of his hiding place underground. It is dangerous to work groping about these holes in the Oh, that is certainly that's certainly a sentence, isn't it? It is dangerous to go groping about these holes in the dark. Yeah. Anyways, holes in the darkness, said he. I might easily break my neck. But by good fortune he came upon an empty snail shell. That's all right, he said. Now I can get safely through the night. And he settled himself down in it. Before he had time to sleep, he had two men pass by, and one was saying to the other, "How can you manage to get a hold of the rich person's gold and silver?" "I can tell you how." "I can tell you how," cried Tom Thumb. "How is this?" said one of the thieves, quite frightened. "I hear someone speak." So they stood still and listened, and Tom Thumb spoke again. "Take me with you. I will show you how to do it." "Where are you?" asked they. "Where are you, then?" asked they. "Look about on the ground and notice where the voice comes from," answered he. At last they found him and lifted him up. "You little elf," said they, "how can you help us?" "Look here," answered he. "I can eat." Oh, I have a lot of hiccups. Hold on, let me get some water. Did you know? That sounded exactly like the whole. Did you know that a technique to avoid hiccups is thinking to yourself that you are not a fish? Simply reminding your brain, "Oh, I am not a fish," will help you avoid hiccups. Try it. Next time you have hiccups, just think to your brain, "I am not a fish." And, well, you shouldn't have hiccups anymore. So there you go. That one is for free. Some good old-fashioned doctor advice. Yes, yes. But regardless, we shall continue. Let's see here. "Very well," they said. "Very well," said they. We will try that, what you can do." So, when they came to the parsonage house, Tom Thumb crept into the room, but cried out with all his might, "Will you have all that is here?" So the thieves were terrified and said, "Do speak more softly, lest anyone should be awake." Tom Thumb made it as if he did not hear them, and cried out again, "What would you like? Will you have all that is here?" So that the cook, who was sleeping in a room hard by, heard it, and raised herself in bed and listened. The thieves, however, in fear of their being discovered, had run back part of the way, but they took courage again, thinking that it was only jest of the little fellows. So they came back and whispered to him to be serious, and to hand him out something. Then Tom Thumb called out once more, as loud as he could, "Oh, yes, I will give it all to you. Only put out your hands." The people he meets are not the brightest, are they? Of course, it seems that the people he's met so far are mainly consist of a pair of swindlers and a pair of thieves. So, yes, I'm not exactly sure that it's exactly the greatest sample size. So far there's been all of 6 characters in this book outside of Tom Thumb. So, it's not exactly the best sample size. Regardless. Let's see. Where are they? Here they are. "Open your hands." Then the listening maid heard him distinctly that time, and jumped out of bed, and burst open the door. The thieves ran off as if the wild huntsmen were behind them. But the maid, as she could see nothing, went to fetch a light. When she came back with one, Tom Thumb had taken himself off, without being seen by her, into the barn. And the maid, when she had looked in every hole and corner, found nothing, went back to bed at last, and thought that she must have been dreaming with her eyes and ears open. So Tom Thumb crept among the hay, and found a comfortable nook to sleep in, where he intended to remain until it was day, and then go home to his father and mother. But other things were to befall him. Indeed, there was nothing but trouble and worry in this world. The maid got up at dawn of day and to feed the cows. The first place she went was the barn, where she took up an armful of hay, and it happened to be the very heap in which Tom Thumb lay asleep. And he was so fast asleep that he was aware of nothing, and never waked until he was in the mouth of the cow, who had taken him up with the hay. "Oh, dear!" cried he. How is it that I have got into a mill? A mill? Wait, what? Got into a mill? I don't know if that's like he just doesn't know where he is, or if he simply doesn't. Is that an old timey phrase? I don't know if. Do you all know? Have you ever heard that before? How have I gotten into a mill? Do you know if that's a phrase? I'm gonna assume it's not a phrase, truthfully. But who knows? Maybe it is. Where was I? Oh, yes. But he soon found out where he was. And he had. Oh, wait! Maybe he just didn't. Yes, because he was in hay and he thought that he. Yes, I understand. Wait, no. Do you mill hay? I'm not a farmer. I wouldn't know these things. I know many things, but not this. Regardless. But he soon found out where he was, and he had to be very careful not to get between the cow's teeth. And at last he had descended into the cow's stomach. Why would he do that? The windows were forgotten when this little room was built. Oh, so he doesn't know where he is. Okay, I understand it now. Said he, and the sunshine cannot get in. There is no light to be had. His quarters weren't everywhere unpleasant to him, and, what was the worst, new hay was constantly coming in, and the space was being filled up. At last he cried out in extremity, as loud as he could, "No more hay for me! No more hay for me!" The maid, the maid was then milking the cow, and as she heard a voice but could see no one, and as it was the same voice she had heard in the night, she was so frightened that she fell off her stool and spilt the milk. Then she ran in great haste to her master, crying, "Oh, master dear, the cow spoke!" You must be crazy, answered the master, and he went himself to the cow-house to see what was the matter. No sooner had he put his foot inside the door than Tom Thumb cried out again, "No more hay for me! No more hay for me!" Then the parson himself was frightened, supposing that a bad spirit had entered into the cow, and he ordered her to be put to death. So she was killed, but the stomach where Tom Thumb was lying was thrown up upon a dunghill. Tom Thumb had great trouble to work his way out of it, and he had just made a space big enough for his head to go through when a new misfortune happened. A hungry wolf ran up and swallowed the whole stomach in one gulp. This is a series of unfortunate circumstances. It truly is. I didn't realize Tom Thumb got eaten by so many animals. I don't remember this. Oh well, let's see here. But Tom Thumb did not lose courage. Perhaps, thought he, the wolf will listen to reason. And he cried out from inside the wolf, "My dear wolf, I can tell you where to go." Oh, hello, Truck. How's it going? I'm reading some Tom Thumb. It's good to see you. Well, see your words and not really seeing you. Be a bit strange if I could see you. Oh, that is you're not having me in the background is honestly, if you're gonna have me in the background, this is the stream to do it. Think of it as like not quite ASMR. Nothing about my voice is very ASMR, but think of it as just kind of background noise, always close behind. I don't think I like that. I don't think I like that one bit. But not one bit. No. Regardless, though, it's good to have you. It's good to see you. Good friend, wonderful friend. But yes, hold on. Where was I? Oh yes. He was talking to a wolf. In such and such a house where you must creep into it, though through the drain, and there you will find cakes and bacon and broth, as much as you can eat. And he described to him his father's house. The wolf needed not be told twice. He squeezed himself through the drain in the night, and feasted in the storeroom to his heart's content. When at last he was satisfied, he wanted to go away again, but he had become so big that to creep the same way back was impossible. This Tom Thumb had reckoned upon. and began to make a terrible din inside of the wolf, crying and calling as loud as he could. I like that word. Din. I like it a lot, actually. I'm going to start using that. Oh, you've made quite a din, haven't you? I like it, yes. I'm gonna keep using that. Yes. But back to the story. I should write down these words I like. Yes. I think I'll do that. Anytime I find a new word I enjoy, I'm gonna write it down. And then use it in sentences to sound like somebody from the 1800s. Yes. The wolf can talk, sorry, spoilers. As loud as he could. Will you be quiet? Said the wolf. You will wake all the folks up. Look here, cried the little man. You are very well satisfied, and now I will do something for my own enjoyment, and began again to make all the noise he could. At last the father and mother were awakened, and they ran to the room door and peeped through the chink. And when they saw a wolf in occupation, they ran and fetched weapons, the man an axe and the wife a scythe. Stay behind, said the man as they entered the room. When I give him a blow, and it does not seem to have killed him, then you must cut at him with your scythe. Then Tom Thumb heard his father's voice and cried, Dear father, I am here in the wolf's inside. Then the father called out full of joy, Thank heaven that we have found our dear child, and told his wife to keep the scythe out of the way, lest Tom Thumb should be hurt with it. Then he drew near and struck the wolf such a blow on the head that he fell down dead. Then he fetched them. Okay, he didn't even need his wife's help. He just got that dog in him. But apparently, that dog had his son in him. I'm sorry. I found that to be too enjoyable of a joke. Regardless, back on track. Let's see. Where was it? Then he struck the... yes. Then he fetched a knife and a pair of scissors, slit up the wolf's body, and let out the little fellow. Oh, what anxiety we have felt about you, said the father. Yes, father, I've seen a good deal of the world, and am very glad to breathe fresh air again. And where have you been all this time? Asked his father. Oh, I've been inside a mouse hole, and a snail's shell, in a cow's stomach, and a wolf's inside. Now I think I will stay at home. And we will not part with you for all the kingdoms of the world, cried the parents, as they kissed and hugged their dear little Tom Thumb. And they gave him something to eat and drink, and a new suit of clothes, as his old ones were soiled with travel. I'd imagine so. Yes. Yeah, no, I don't blame him or his family for, not wanting to go outside. Yeah, no, if I were the size of a thumb, I too would not be too keen to go outside if I got eaten several times in a row. Well, okay, hold on, Truck, hold on. It's because he was eaten by a wolf. You came back and literally... Oh my goodness, we met the follower go. We did it! I don't know who just followed. But thank you. Second of all, behind it. I do hope that Truck's comment didn't strike you. Okay, so Truck, to explain, he was eaten by a wolf. So he was literally inside the dog. So it was not... There's really no good way to put it, is there? So... not intentionally. It's more like the circle of life. Because the wolf... he was eaten by a cow, but then they killed the cow because they thought it was possessed, and then they cut out its stomach, which he was still inside of. But they threw out the stomach, and then a wolf came and ate the stomach. And so, no, that's not how life is made. Not one bit, no. I should know these things. I'm a doctor, Truck. You are a truck. So, simply said, I simply supersede you in the hierarchy of knowledge, of the circle of life. Yes. It's totally a thing. 100% a thing, truthfully. You can quote me on that. You should always trust a doctor to give you medical advice over a truck. And you can quote me on that. I'm going to make that into an inspirational quote, actually. It's gonna just be one of those things where it has like a black and white picture of me over a black background, and then in like fancy cursive letters they say, "You can always trust a doctor over a truck to give medical advice." I don't know how to respond to that. I hope you're aware I don't know how to respond to that. What does that mean, truck? Truck, what does that mean? Gotta get the goods out. Oh, I see. Okay, you know that. Okay, I see now. I understand. That's not nearly as bad as I thought. But either way, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on. Oh boy. So, we're actually there's actually interesting thing with Tom Thumb. What? No, I'm not gonna tell you what I thought. I'm not. What I thought doesn't matter. Oh no, what I think does matter. It matters more than anything, truthfully. But we're just gonna move on from that, because more important than that is the fact that there's a two stories that comprise Tom Thumb. It is, of course, the titular Tom Thumb, followed by Tom Thumb's Travels, of all things. I know, very, very surprising. You think that after he says, "I don't want to go outside anymore," he would have stuck to that. I know me personally, I would not have, if I were eaten twice in a row over the course of a single day's period, I would not want to go outside either. But apparently Tom Thumb is different from me. He has different priorities, or maybe he's into that. I don't know. But I'm not here to judge him. I'm here to read his story to you. So, Tom Thumb's Travels. There was once a tailor who had a son no higher than a thumb. So he was called Tom Thumb. Do you think he had a last name? I'm sorry. I know I'm supposed to be keeping track of things. But do you think he had a last name? Because they call him Tom Thumb. They call him that because he's the size of a thumb. Do you think that he has a last name? Perhaps. I don't know, truthfully. But who knows? Not me. I bet it's something like Pinky. Pinky, of course. Oh, Tom. No. I doubt that. It's probably. Well, let's see. His father was a woodsman, I think. He cut lumber. So, if we're going by the standard naming convention of the time, his first name was Pinky. His last name was Pinky. Boo. Boo. And we're moving on now. We're ignoring this question. And I'm no longer posing the question. It's been taken off the board. And you will no longer be answering it. Anyways. Moving on. Notwithstanding his small size, he had plenty of spirit. And one day he said to his father, Father, go out in the world, I must, and will. Why did he say that like Yoda? Go out into the world, I must, and will. That was a terrible Yoda impression, I'm not gonna lie. I used to be way better at it. Anyways. Very well, my son, said the old man, and taking a long darning needle, he put a knob of sealing wax on the end, saying, Here is a sword, and to take with you on your journey. Damn! His pops really said, Here, stay strapped, my boy. I love it. What a caring father. Anyways, now the little tailor wanted to have one more meal first, And so he trotted out. Oh, that's cute. Calling him a tailor. Yes, because he had a little needle sword. That's cute. How cute. So he trotted into the kitchen to see what sort of farewell feast his mother had cooked for him. It was all ready, and the dish was standing on the hearth. Then he said, "Mother, what is the fare today?" "You can see for yourself," said the mother. Then Tom Thumb ran over to the hearth and peeped into the dish. But as he stretched his neck too far over it, the steam caught him and carried him up into the chimney. Oh, my. For a time he floated about with the steam in the air, but at last he sank down to the ground. Then the little tailor found himself out in the wide world, and he wandered about, finally engaged himself as to a master tailor. But the food was not good enough for him. Wait, what? How? Wandered about, finally engaged himself to a master tailor. So he found... Okay, I see. I'm learning reading comprehension. You think as with how old I am, I'd know that by now. Yes. But, okay, the food was not good enough for him. Oh, okay, sorry. He's got... Little man has big taste, apparently. Here we go. "Mistress," said Tom Thumb, "if you do not give us better victuals, I shall go out early in the morning and write with a piece of chalk on the house door. Plenty of potatoes to eat, but little meat. So goodbye, Mr. Potato." What a terrible... That's so rude. Tom Thumb is a little punk. Who does that? Who goes into someone's home, says your food is mid, I'm gonna go vandalize your door to let everyone know this house has mid food. He's got a lot of guts for a little guy. Oh my word. Oh my word, indeed. Regardless, we shall continue. Let's see. "What are you after, Grasshopper?" said the mistress, and growing angry, she seized a piece of rag to beat him off. But he crept underneath her thimble, and peeped at her, and put his tongue out at her. He's a brat. She took up the thimble, and would have seized him, but he hopped among the rags, and as the mistress turned them over to find him, he stepped into a crack in the table. He, mistress," he cried. He's literally just a brat. What is this kid? And when sticking out his head, and when she was just going to grasp him, he jumped into the table drawer. But in the end, she caught him and drove him out of the house. So he wandered on until he came to a great wood, and there he met a gang of robbers that were going to rob the king's treasury. And they saw the little tailor, and they thought to themselves, "Such a little fellow might easily creep through a keyhole and serve instead of a picklock." "Holloa!" cried one. "You giant Goliath, will you come with us to the treasure chamber? You can slip in and then throw us out the money." Tom Thumb considered. We've already done it. This is a tale that's already been. Yes. What's the phrase I'm looking for here? This web has already been spun. I think that's what I'm trying to say here. Regardless, this is a song. This song has already been sung. There we go. I like that. Yes. This song's already been sung. We heard this just a little bit ago. This has been done already. This is literally what happened when he was a little boy. Robbers tried to use him to rob a place. Water break. Here we go. Tom Thumb considered a little, but at last he consented and went with them to the treasure chamber. Then he looked all over for the door with them. Wait. Yes, for the door with them. No, that's not it. For the door, above and below. But there was no crack to be seen. At last he found one broad enough to let him pass, and he was getting through when one of the sentinels that stood before the door saw him and said to the other, "See what an ugly spider is crawling there. I will put an end to him." "Let the poor creature alone," said the other. It has done you no harm." So Tom Thumb got safely through the crack into the treasure chamber, and he opened the window beneath which the thieves were standing. He opened the window beneath which the thieves were standing, and he threw them out $1 after another, just as he well settled to the work. He heard the king coming to take a look at his treasure, and so Tom Thumb had to creep away. The king presently remarked that many good dollars were wanting, but he could not imagine how they could have been stolen, as the locks and the bolts were in good order, and everything seemed secure. And he went away, saying to the two sentinels, "Keep good guard. There is some other after the money." Then Tom Thumb had set to work anew. They heard the chink and chink of the money, and hastily rushed in to catch the thief. But the little tailor, as he heard them coming, was too quick for them, and hiding in a corner, he covered himself up with $1, so that nothing of him was to be seen. And then he mocked the sentinels, crying, "Here I am!" They ran about, and when they came near him, he was soon in another corner under $1, crying, "Here I am!" Then the sentinels ran towards him, and in a moment he was in a third corner, crying, "Here I am!" In this way he made fools of them, and dodged them so long about the treasure chamber that they got tired and went away. How did I just lose my place? What just happened? Oh, there it is. Then he set to work and threw the dollars out the window, one after the other, till they were all gone. And when it came to the last, as he flung it with all his might, he jumped nimbly on it and flew out with it out of the window. Yo, Tom Thumb has got that dog in him. I didn't realize he was like that. Okay. I don't know if any of you all have seen the old Dragon Ball, but in it, there is a scene where there's a character called Assassin Tao, and he's this master assassin martial artist, and he's like, there's a pillar, like you have on any building, and he strikes it in two places and removes it from the wall, and he takes it, and he throws it, and just absolutely hucks it, and then he proceeds to jump on top of it as it's flying through the air and ride it like a surfboard through the air. I can't believe Tom Thumb is the original Assassin Tao. That is incredible. I didn't really... What is... Okay, Tom Thumb, go off, little man. I just was assuming he was some brat this whole time. He's apparently like that. He's that guy. He is that guy. He's him. Well, it flew with it out of the window. The robbers gave him great praise, saying, "You are a most valiant hero. Will you be our captain?" Damn, dude. Okay. But Tom Thumb thanked them, and he said he would like to see the world first. Then they divided the spoil, but the little tailor's share was only 1 farthing, which was all he was able to carry. That's kind of reasonable. It's fairly reasonable. Then, binding his sword to his side, he bid the robbers good day, and started on his way. He applied to several master tailors, but they would not have anything to do with him, and at last he hired himself as indoor servant to an inn. The maidservants took a great dislike to him, for he used to see everything they did without being seen by them, and he told the master and mistress about what they took from the plates, and what they carried away out of the cellar. And the plates... And they said, "Wait a little, we will pay you out," and took counsel together to play him some mischievous trick. Once, when one of the maids was mowing the grass in the garden, she saw Tom Thumb jumping about and creeping among the cabbages, and she mowed him into the grass, tied all together in a bundle, and threw it to the cows. Among the cows was a big black one, who swallowed him down without doing him any harm. But he did not like his lodgings. It was so dark, and there was no candle to be had. When the cow was being milked, he cried out, "Strip, strap, stool, will the pail soon be full?" But he was not understood because of the noise of milk. Presently, the landlord came into the stable, and said, "Tomorrow this cow will be slaughtered." Again? This seems like much of the same story, if you ask me. And at that Tom Thumb felt very terrified, and with his shrillest voice he cried, "Let me out first, I am sitting inside here." The master heard him quite plainly, but could not tell where the voice came from. "Where are you? Where are you?" asked he. "Inside the black one?" "Oh, inside the black one," answered Tom Thumb. But the master could not understanding the meaning of it all, went away. The next morning the cow was slaughtered. Happily, in all the cutting and slashing, he escaped all harm, and he slipped among the sausage meat. When the butcher came near to set to work, he cried with all his might, "Don't cut so deep, don't cut so deep. I am underneath." But for the sound of the butcher's knife, his voice was not heard. Oh boy, this has got really intense suddenly. This is much more intense than the last one. Oh Lord. Now poor Tom Thumb was in great straits, and he had to jump nimbly out of the way of the knife, and finally he came through with a whole skin. But he could not quite get quite away, and he had to let himself remain in the lumps of fat and be put in a black pudding. His quarters were rather narrow, and he had to be hung up in the chimney to smoke. In the chimney in the smoke, and to remain there a very long while. At last, when winter came, he was taken down for the black pudding. For the black pudding was to be set before a guest, and when the landlady cut the black pudding into slices, he had the great care not to lift up his head too much, or it might be shaved off at the neck. At last he saw his opportunity, took courage, and jumped out. So he was in there for like months. He's literally just built different, it seems. He is just... I mean, well, yes, he's built different because he's the size of a thumb. But I don't know how he can survive as he has been. Legitimately like a supernatural being. He can huck coins and jump on them and ride them like a surfboard. He can survive it for months trapped inside of meats. He's built different. He is that guy. But as things had gone so badly with him in that house, Tom Thumb did not mean to stay there. He but betook himself again to his wanderings. His freedom, however, did not last long. In the open fields, oh dear. Oh dear. In the open fields there came a fox, who snapped him up without thinking. "Oh, Mr. Fox," cried Tom Thumb, "here I am sticking in your throat. Let me out again." "Very well," answered the fox. "It is true you are no better than nothing. Promise me the hens in your father's yard, and then I will let you go." "With all my heart," answered Tom Thumb. "You shall have them all, I promise you." Then the fox let him go, and he ran home. When his father saw his dear little son again, he gave the fox willingly all the hens he had. "And look besides, what a fine piece of money I've got for you," said Tom Thumb as he handed over the farthing which he had earned in his wanderings. But how, you ask, could they let the fox devour the poor chicks? Why, you silly child, you know that your father would rather have you than all the hens in his yard. Oh, what the... That's actually quite a sweet little message at the end there. You know, no amount of chickens is worth, your child. That's very sweet. I like that. I very much like that. That's very cute. What a cute little message. Okay. Let's see. So that is... They're not exactly a series of stories, sadly. If you ask me, it does seem very much like a loose sequel. Like it's much of the same from the last story, but told a little different. So, what we've learned is that as Tom Thumb grew older, the experiences he had of getting eaten by a cow and a wolf did little to teach him to avoid doing that. And as well, he somehow just turned into a total brat. Like, literally just chose to be a problem. And honestly, I respect it. It's noble pursuit. I would do the same. So, we're gonna find another story. Since we have already read pretty much everything for Tom Thumb. So, we're gonna do that. We are going to check there. So. Let's see here. What would be good? Well, I know yes, we'll do something less known, because I already said before that, we're going to do a well-known one and then something a little less known. So, I don't know what this is, but it is the 91st story in the Brothers Grimm collection. It is a story called Jorinda and Joringel. Joringel? Joringel? I don't know. But it's only 2 pages long. So we're going to go read that. 275. 265. 269. Here we go. I really hope that this is not like the last time we did this. So for those who are unaware, there was a story. What the hell is this? Hold on. The juniper tree. This sounds terrifying. What is this story? I don't like this. Okay, we're gonna avoid that for now. I think we'll come back and read that one. Maybe that one will be like a not so cozy special. But we're gonna get back to this. So, Jorinda and Joring. Oh yes, but the story I was telling you. So yes, last time we did this, I was reading, as I do, and there was a story that we read. I don't remember which one it was. Actually, I do remember which one it was. Hold on, let me find it. I'm not gonna read it. The Jew Among Thorns. I did not know what it was, and through the egging on of my chat, I read it because I wanted to know what it was about. They wanted to know what it was about. And then we all found out together that it was anti-Semitic. That's what it was about. It was about anti-Semitism. So I did not finish that story. So we're going to read this one and hope it is not the same. Hopefully this is an actual story and one that is quite nice. So, we're going to get back into it. Jorinda and Joringel. Oh, come on, truck. You just had the best timing, don't you? It's go eat. Go eat. Stop incriminating me. Anyway. Oh dear. Okay. I like how you can see anytime like I go off camera and then I come back on camera. It's like I do a little jump. Whoop. Anyways. We're gonna start reading again. Oh boy. So, to begin. There once was an old castle in the midst of a large and thick forest, and in it an old woman who was a witch dwelt all alone. In the daytime she changed herself into a cat or a screech owl, but in the evening she took her proper shape again as a human being. She could lure wild beasts and birds to her, and then she killed and boiled and roasted them. If anyone came within 100 paces of the castle, she was obliged to stand still, and could not stir from the place until she bade him be free. But whenever an innocent maiden came in within the circle, she changed her into a bird, and shut her up in a wicker work cage, and carried the cage into a room in the castle. She had about 7,000 cages of rare birds in the castle. That's a lot of people who would kidnap. Oh my word. Several thousand. Wow. First of all, that's a lot of people to be turning into birds. How many people wander about? That's the population of a small town. And she just has that many women turned into birds. Second of all, how does she take care of 7,000 birds? How does she have a room big enough to hold 7,000 birds? All in cages, mind you. It's not like they're free flying around. They are several thousand caged birds. And she just has them all. That is absurd. Who needs that many birds? Not I. Not I. I don't even like birds. You all know this. I am not too fond of birds. At all, actually. But, it is what it is. It's not about me. It's about this witch and the strange obsession she has with birds. Continuing. Now there's a maiden who was called Jorinda, fairer than all other girls. She and a handsome youth named Joringel had promised to marry each other. They were still in the days of betrothal, and the greatest happiness was being together. One day, in order that they might be able to talk together in quiet, they went for a walk in the forest. Take care, said Joringel, that you do not go too near the castle. It was a beautiful evening. The sun shone brightly between the trunks of the trees in the dark green forest, and the turtle doves sang mournfully upon the young boughs of the birch trees. Jorinda wept now and then. She sat down in the sunshine and was sorrowful. Joringa was sorrowful too. They were as sad as if they were about to die. Why? Then they looked around them, and they were quite at a loss, for they did not know by which way they should go home. The sun was still half above the mountain and half set. Joringel looked through the bushes and saw the old walls of the castle close at hand. He was horror-stricken and filled with deadly fear. Jorinda was singing. Why was she singing? What's wrong? My little bird with necklace red sings sorrow, sorrow, sorrow. He sings at He sings at... I don't know. What the heck is the tune for this? He sings that the dove might soon be dead. Sing sorrow, jug, jug, jug. What? Oh, I see. She turned into a bird. Okay. Do nightingales go jug, jug, jug? Joringel looked for Jorinda. She was changed into a nightingale and sang jug, jug, jug. A screech owl with glowing eyes flew 3 times around about her, and 3 times cried, "Tu-woo, tu-woo, tu-woo." Joringel could not move. He stood there like stone, and could neither weep nor speak, nor move hand or foot. The sun had now set. The owl flew into the thicket, and directly afterwards there came out of it a crooked old woman, yellow and lean, with large red eyes and a hooked nose, the point of which reached to her chin. She muttered to herself, caught the nightingale, and took it away in her hand. Joringel could neither speak nor move from the spot. The nightingale was gone. At last the woman came back and said in the hollow voice, "Greet thee, Zachiel. If the moon shines on the cage, Zachiel let him loose at once." Then Joringel was freed. He fell on his knees before the woman and begged that she would give him back his Jorinda. But she said that he should never have her again, and went away. Oh, mean! That's so mean. He called, he wept, he lamented, but all in vain. Ah, what to become of me? Joringel went away, and at last to a strange village. There he kept sheep for a long time. He often walked round and round the castle, but not too near to it. At last he dreamt one night that he found a blood-red flower, in the middle of which was a beautiful large pearl, that he picked the flower and went with it to the castle, and that everything he touched with the flower was freed from enchantment. He also dreamt that by means of it he recovered his Jorinda. In the morning, when he awoke, he began to seek over the hill and dale if he could find such a flower. He sought until the 9th day, and then, early in the morning, he found the blood-red flower. In the middle of it there was a large dewdrop, as big as the finest pearl. Day and night he journeyed with this flower to the castle. When he was within 100 paces of it, he was not held fast, but walked to the door. Joringel was full of joy. He touched the door with the flower, and it sprang open. He walked in through the courtyard and listened for the sound of the birds. At last he heard it. He went on and found the room from whence it came. And there the witch was feeding the birds. Oh, okay. So she in the 7,000 cages. When she saw Joringel, she was angry, very angry, and scolded and spat poison and gall at him. But she could not come within 2 paces of him. He did not take any notice of her, but went and looked at the cages with the birds, but there were many 100 nightingales. How was he to find Jorinda again? And then he saw the old woman quietly take a cage away with a bird in it, and go towards the door. Swiftly he sprang towards her, touched the cage with the flower, and also the old woman. She could now no longer bewitch anyone, and Jorinda was standing there, clasping him round the neck, and she was beautiful as ever. I just liked that one. That one was just, that was literally and they lived happily ever after. I liked, that's a, it's a classic fairy tale, A witch turning a tearing a young couple apart, turning one of them into a nightingale, and then, making the other one just be sad about it. So, I liked it. I should start rating these, I think. Yes. I'm going to start okay, here's how this. After we read all, hold on, 211 Grimm Fairy Tales, I'm going to make a tier list. And I'm going to tier all of the fairy tales and the objective way of which ones are coolest. So there we go. That's what we're going to do. I think that's a good idea. Sure, it's a lot of fairy tales, but it'll be fun. It'll be a fun little... I know! My microphone fell. My mic stand tipped over. And I don't know why. But it's okay. I caught it. I didn't actually catch it. It fell on top of me. But yeah, you got a terrified screech from me. I really hope that somebody who was just kind of listening didn't just get a fright. Does it seem like... I was going to say, is the stream a little dark for you all? I don't know. But, continuing on. Let's see. What do you think? Should we do one more? 4 stories? Is that a good number? A nice even number to do it with? And then maybe I'll do something else. Who knows? I kind of want to play games. I'm not going to lie to you. Let's see. Maybe, okay, here we go. Here's what we're going to do. Siri. You're not going to listen to me, are you? It's because I don't talk to Siri in this voice. Give me a number between 1 and 211. 154. Which one is that? Let's see here. The donkey. I think I read this one, actually. Hold on. Let me see. 479. 479. 469. 176. No, that one's too long for my taste. Here we go. We will instead read The Crystal Ball. Maybe this will be... maybe, I don't know. Hopefully this one's just good. I hope this one's just good, truthfully. So, let us begin. There was once in a tent... I'm gonna get some water. I need a drink. No, I need a stiff drink after all this fairy tales. Oh. That's good. For those of you who are unacquainted with streaming, it is very important that you drink water throughout it, because if you don't do that, then it's going to be a lot more difficult to kind of talk for the entire time. It's important that you do that. And I'm going to go, I don't know why, I don't know why I did that voice. I apologize. Who knows? Maybe next time I'll do an entire stream like that. Do you all want that? I don't assume you do. You love my voice. It's so melodic, is it not? It's like music to your ears. Oh, okay, afterward. I'll talk about it after. But we'll finish this story. It's only a page and a half. I think it's only 2 pages, because The first page is like 3/4 of a page, and then it's a whole page, and it's another quarter of a page. So, okay, let's get this. There was once an enchantress who had 3 sons who loved each other as brothers. Well, I'd hope they loved each other as brothers. They're brothers. But the old woman did not trust them. They thought they wanted to steal her powers from her. So she changed the eldest into an eagle, which she was forced to dwell in the Rocky Mountains, and was often seen sweeping in great circles in the sky. The second she changed into a whale, which lived in the deep sea, and all that was seen of it was that it sometimes spouted up a great jet of water in the air. Each of them only bore his human form for 2 hours daily. The third son, who was afraid she might change him into a raging wild beast or a bear, perhaps, or a wolf, went secretly away. He had heard that a king's daughter, who was bewitched with it, was imprisoned in the castle of the Golden Sun, and was waiting for deliverance. Those, however, who had tried to free her risked their lives. 23 youths. 23? What an odd way to phrase 23. Who had tried to free her risked their lives. 23 youths had already died a miserable death, and now only one other might make the attempt, after which no more must come. And as his heart was without fear, he caught at the idea of seeking out the castle of the Golden Sun, and had already travelled about for a long time without being able to find it, when he came by chance into a great forest, and did not know the way out of it. And once he saw in the distance 2 giants, who made a sign at him with their hands, and when he came to them, they said, "We are quarrelling about a cap, and which of us is to belong to, and we are equally strong. Neither of us can get the better of the other, and the small men are cleverer than we are, so we will leave the decision to thee." "How can you dispute about an old cap?" said the youth. "Thou dost not know what properties it has. It is a wishing cap. Whosoever puts it on can wish himself away wherever he likes, and in an instant he will be there." "Give me the cap," said the youth. "I will go a short distance off, and when I call you, you must run apace, and the cap shall belong to the one who gets first to me." He put it on and went away, and thought of the king's daughter, forgot the giants, and walked away continually onward. At length he sighed from the very bottom of his heart, and cried, "Ah, if I were but at the castle of the Golden Sun, and hardly had the words passed his lips when he was standing on a high mountain before the gate of the castle. He entered in, and when it was literally a Deus Ex Machina. He was just brought there by a random act of circumstance. Amazing. He entered and went through all the rooms, until in the last he found the king's daughter. But how shocked he was when he saw her. She had an ashen grey face full of wrinkles, blear eyes, and red hair. I like the red hair, though. "Art thou the king's daughter, whose beauty the whole world praises?" cried he. "Ah," she answered, "this is not my form. Human eyes can only see me in this state of ugliness. But thou mayst know what I am like. Look in the mirror. It does not let itself be misled. It will show thee my image as it is in the truth. As it is in truth. There we go." She gave him the mirror in his hand, and he saw therein the likeness of the most beautiful maiden on earth, and saw, too, how the tears were rolling down her cheeks with grief. Then he said, "How canst thou be free? I fear no danger." She said, "He who gets the crystal ball and holds it before the enchanter will destroy his power with it, and I shall resume my true shape." "Ah." "Ah," she added, "so many have already gone to meet the death for this, and thou art so young. I grieve that thou shouldst encounter such great danger." "Nothing can keep me from doing it," said he, "but tell me what I must do." "Thou shalt know everything," said the king's daughter, "when thou descendest from the mountain on which the castle stands. A wild bull will stand below by a spring, and thou must fight it, and if thou hast the luck to kill it, a fiery bird will spring out of it, which bears in its body a burning egg, and in the egg the crystal ball lies like a yolk. The bird will not, however, let the egg fall until forced to do so, and if it fall to the ground, it will flame up and burn everything that is near, and melt even ice itself, and with it the crystal ball. and then all thy trouble shall have been in vain. The youth went down to the spring, where the bull snorted and bellowed at him. After a long struggle, he plunged his sword in the animal's body, and it fell down. Instantly, a fiery bird arose from it, and was about to fly away. But the young man's brother, the eagle, let's go! I'm going to be real with you. I didn't know if the brothers were going to come back into play or not. I'm really glad that they did. I thought they were just going to gloss over that. Let's see. Who was passing between the clouds, swooped down, hunted it away to the sea, and struck it with his beak until, in its extremity, it let the egg fall. The egg did not, however, fall into the sea, but on a fisherman's hut, which stood on the shore, and the hut began at once to smoke, and was about to break out in flames. Then arose from in the sea waves as high as a house as they streamed over the hut, and subdued the fire. The other brother, the whale, had come swimming to them, and had driven the water up on high. When the fire was extinguished, the youth sought for the egg, and happily found it. It was not yet melted, but the shell was broken by being so suddenly cooled with the water, and he could take out the crystal ball unhurt. When the youth went to the enchanter and held it before him, the latter said, "My power is destroyed, and from this time forth thou art the king of the castle of the golden sun. With this canst thou likewise give back to thy brothers their human form." Then the youth hastened to the king's daughter, and when he entered the room, she was standing there in full splendor of her beauty, and joyfully they exchanged rings with each other. Oh, wonderful! I liked that one. That one was very cute and short. I'm not gonna lie, for a bit I was thinking, what's the whole point of mentioning the fact that his brothers were turned into animals? Is that gonna come back? Are we ever gonna touch on that? And we did. It came back. So, yeah, it all worked out. And I like that. It's very cute. They came in, they helped him achieve the goal. And then the enchanter was like, you know what? I'm a man of my word. You did it. Congratulations. You won. Here, take my castle. In fact, this magic bowl you found, it can fix your brothers too. I don't know how he knew about the brothers, but he did. I guess he was just he had his... No, the mother was an enchantress. Maybe they just knew each other. Maybe they went to, enchanter college together. And maybe he just didn't like her. Because, you'd think there'd be some sort of, what is it, honor among thieves, but for honor among enchanters? But instead, he was like, yeah, no, I know your mom. F her, stick to the man. There you go. Fix your brothers while you're at it. Honestly, kind of a G. Sure, 23 other people died, but that's their own fault for just not being, writ to them. But the youth was simply built different, I understand that 23 people lost their lives trying to get the orb, but I'm built different. So I simply would retrieve the orb and, I would simply save the princess. So, ripped everybody else, though. So, with that last story, I do hope you enjoyed yourselves. I had a wonderful time. I quite enjoyed this. I think that we should do this again. It's a very simple stream idea. I hope you all like it, truthfully. And I want to do it some more. I want to see what else we can do here. What other stories? I want to get through most of them. It's a very big book. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll find some fun things to do for you all. Maybe I'll find some pictures to go along with it or something. I don't know. Regardless, I think it would be fun. So we're gonna do that, and I want to try. Let's see. I know there's hold on. Give me a second here. I want to try. Oh my heck. Oh my goodness, there's so many people streaming right now. Wow. Oh my. See, I was going to try and raid somebody, but I don't know any of these people, so I'm not going to do that at all, actually. We're going to not do that. In fact, we're going to ignore everything, and we're just going to call it there, I think. We're just going to call it there. So, thank you for joining me. I'm actually working on a... Wait, there was something I was going to say, wasn't there? I got excited about something, and then I said, oh, I'll talk about it later. Oh, well. I remember now. So, I thought it would be fun to make a channel mascot, because I put out a poll a while ago, and it ended in a tie. So, at the time, I came up with the idea of, we could have between two choices, either a leech for the channel mascot, or a raven for the channel mascot. And they both got the same amount of votes. So, I'm going to create art for both of them, and I will leave it up to you all to vote again on which one you like more. And I'm a little afraid. Part of me wants to be like, I'll do really nice art for the one I want to choose, or the one I favor more. And I'll do really crummy art for the other one. But I know there's a part of me that understands how the internet works. And I know that if I do that, everyone is going to choose the scrungly looking one, because they'll think it's funny or cute. So I will not be doing that. I instead will be putting equal effort into both of them. And then I will make you all decide. You will take a little vote on which one we like more. So thank you. Yes, thank you again for watching, for listening to me ramble, and for joining me for another round of story time. It was lovely to have you all, and I hope to see you again very soon. Have a wonderful and lovely evening. Goodbye.